Hello, welcome to Heat Top, as something is off with me, just Joey T. I am dog sitting again, and my friends are in Europe. They're there for like just over 2 weeks, 15, 16 days. And they asked if I would dog sit for them. I said, sure, I would love to. I've dog sat for them before, but never for this long. And we're about, I don't know, 10 days, 9 or 10 days in. And every other time I've taken care of Louis, that's his name, every other time I've taken care of him, it's only been for 3 or 4 days. The longest I think was for 6 days or thereabouts. And this time, for the first 5 or 6 days, just, like every other time. But as the days wore on from there, he follows me around the house more and more, like more than usual. So he's actually humping one of his toys just off camera. By the way, the video version of this podcast is available on Spotify, my YouTube channel, just Joey T. I think dogs naturally tend to follow people around the house a little bit anyways. There are a lot of like memes and TikToks and all that kind of stuff showing that. But yeah, with Louis specifically, yeah, just kind of sort of to the extreme. I took a shower yesterday and my bathroom doesn't have a exhaust fan, so I keep the window open. It's like a tiny window above the shower, but I open that window and I also leave the door of the bathroom open so that there's like some air circulation to, not let moisture build up, as I don't want mold in my house. Because I leave the door open, he tends to run into the bathroom when I'm in the shower because he follows me around everywhere now, like everywhere. And he also likes to go into like the little wastebasket that's in my bathroom because he likes chewing on tissues. So I have to hide the trash in the linen closet in my bathroom because I have to keep the door open before I take a shower. But then yesterday I decided, you know what, like I don't want him like falling around like everywhere. And like I was using hairspray and like other sprays and that kind of stuff. And that's probably not good for a dog. So I just closed the door to my bedroom, and my bathroom's in my bedroom. And then while I was taking a shower, he was barking for the whole time that I was in the shower. Usually he barks when he hears noises outside. He has a bit of like the guard dog mentality to him. He hears outside noise, people walking outside in the hallways outside the apartment, and he barks. But like he was barking so much. So I think he's got a little bit of separation anxiety from his daddies because he's probably not used to being away from his daddies for that long. And he recognizes me. He knows me. He spent time with me. And he's like, oh my God, daddies are away. This random guy is the only person taking care of me, giving me food. I need to be like extra close to him. So that's, as far as I can tell, the reason why he's following me around extra. Like I would have been able to do a podcast by myself in days past, but not today. He's just everywhere. But I just thought, I would show him on camera, except that he's not the kind of dog that likes to cuddle or be picked up. Not by me, anyways. So that's out the window. I do take him on like 3 walks a day. And when I usually take him on walks, he's usually pretty excited. The thing about walks, though, is, and it's not the dog's problem, it's a me problem. Dogs will want to naturally go up to other dogs when you take them outside in public on walks in parks or whatever. And I think most dog owners are fine with that. And there's 2 types of dog owners that I'm starting to identify when I take Louis on walks. When you're walking down the sidewalk and there's another dog and they're human coming your way, one of 2 things happen. It's either they will cross the street when they're like still a good 50, 60 feet away just to avoid the dogs meeting. Because sometimes when dogs meet, you don't know if one of them doesn't like the other one, and then they start barking and scratching or whatever. It is what it is. The other type of dog owner, if they don't cross the street when they're like within sight of you, that means they probably want their dog to meet your dog. And maybe by extension, they maybe possibly want to like meet you. But it's probably just that they want their dogs to socialize with other dogs, which I get. It's actually important for dogs to socialize with each other. But when I take Louis out on the second walk, I take him out in the morning, 8:39 in the morning, and there are not that many people out in my neighborhood, in like the few blocks around my house. In the afternoon, though, like 3-4 p.m., that's like peak dog walking hour, I guess. And I only go at that time because it's like the midway point between the morning when I take him out shortly after I wake up and the nighttime walk, which I take him as close to bedtime as possible so that, he gets his pee out before we go to bed. That's just the 3 or 4 p.m. That's just like the halfway point. So that's why I take him out at that time. He's sometimes reluctant to like walk, but I know he needs the exercise. But the thing is, he doesn't walk very fast as a result. Like, he sniffs everything. Dogs like sniffing. But, like, this dog sniffs extra. Like, it's hard to walk, like, 20 feet with this dog. It takes so much time to walk him. To just go, like, down the block and back is 15 minutes. And that's, like, I don't know, a quarter mile, not even. It's barely a block, honestly. So, the more time you spend lingering out and about on the sidewalks, the more chances there is that other people are walking their dogs. So for me, it's like, okay, if Louis walked faster, we could just be done faster. He would get more exercise because he's moving stupid legs. And we would be done faster because he would be moving and not just like standing around. It's not just he's sniffing stuff. Sometimes he just can't be bothered. Sometimes people can't be bothered to like walk very quickly. He has that kind of diva attitude on his afternoon walks now. He just won't move. He's not sniffing anything. He's not doing anything. He's just walking very slowly. And he does not like to be hurried. And I don't like pulling on the leash. Like, I think that's like a bad thing. I'm trying very hard to teach him not to pull on it himself. And I don't want to pull on it just because I want to go. Anyways, so therefore, all these factors put together, that means like a lot of, we have I see a lot of dogs and other dog owners walking their dogs. And I don't want to socialize on my dog walks. You know what I mean? I don't want to meet people when I walk my dog. I'm walking my dog to walk my dog. I'm not walking my dog to meet people. I know it's very antisocial, but I don't care. I just don't want to do it. So thank God I don't have my own dog and I'm just dog sitting once in a while. Because if I have to be forced to have to meet people on my dog walks every single day, which is the reality when you live in a city and there's people all around, I'm going to kill myself. I want to be social when I want to be social, not because my dog needs to take shit. So, I love Louis. He's great. It's fun to have a dog around. But taking care of a dog also takes a lot of time. Each walk is like 15 to 20 minutes. So that's at least an hour out of your day. And then you have to like feed him, take care of him. I took him in for a grooming session last Friday. Because he needs to be groomed once in a while. He's a white miniature poodle, about like 15 pounds or so. And he's got white curly fur. So he needs to be trimmed, like cut once in a while, like once or twice a month. But he definitely needs a shower, like a bath, a shampoo, probably at least every other week because the white coat picks up dirt so much. I walked him this morning and we were coming back and there was like a dog coming in from behind and a dog coming ahead of me towards me. And I was like, okay, there's this huge parking lot of this grocery store that is like empty because it was like 8:30 in the morning and 9 a.m. in the morning. So like, okay, let's just cut through the parking lot. It'll be kind of sort of towards the way back home. And we were already like 20 minutes into that walk. And for some reason, in the middle of the parking lot, he decided to like scratch his ass. And dogs scratch their ass. Basically, they would just like drop down on their butt. They just drop down from their hind legs. They would just like bend up their hind legs. And they would just basically, they'll get into a sitting position, but then they'll like keep moving forward with like their front legs. It's like clawing, and because he has the white fur and it was like in the middle of apparently very dirty parking lot. After he got up, after he finished scratching his ass in the parking lot, his entire ass was like gray from him scratching his ass on that pavement. So he had a white ass before, now he has this like dark gray ass. So I had to basically wipe his ass when he got home. So the joys of dog ownership. And I didn't even own the dog. So it's the joys of taking care of a dog. So luckily, I had the foresight to suggest to his daddies that, hey, do you want me to bring him in for like a quick shampoo, a quick bath before you guys come back? Because, after I can appreciate that after you've been gone on like a long trip to have to come back to like a bunch of chores. Even me, I don't have any pets, but I always like to clean my house and leave my house clean so that when I come back after my 1 or 2 week trip or whatever, I don't come back to like a dirty house, because I know after you come back from traveling, you're just tired. Even if it was a vacation, just air travel and going through airports and lugging luggage around and all that kind of stuff. Even that can be kind of that's tiring, and that can be stressful. Like after your vacation. So I was like, oh, it would be nice. Like I would really appreciate if someone would. Whoever was taking care of my dog, if they really didn't mind and they didn't care and I gave them money to do it, they just took my dog in for like a trim or shampoo right before I got back. So I came back to like a freshly bathed dog. So I was like, I just offered to like, oh, do you want me to take him in right before you guys come back from your trip and pick him up? And they're like, yeah, sure. Just let me know what we owe you. So yeah, there you go. I'm glad I didn't get a dog, and this proves that I was right to not get a dog, but I don't think I would like it. And I would get a dog that would be, that want to cuddle a little bit more. This dog doesn't cuddle at all. He will like to, when you're in bed, he will like to jump on the bed and kind of curl up by your feet. That's it. He doesn't really want to be held. He doesn't want to cuddle otherwise. He doesn't fetch because he's not like a retriever or like a terrier. So it's not the breed of dog that I would get. Anyways, switching gears completely. So I have an Instagram. It's also just Joey T, same username as everywhere else. And I don't usually post too much on it, actually, but from the cruise Q&A podcast episode that I did recently, I did take a couple of snippets, like 40, 50-second snippets from that episode and turn them into reels on Instagram, which I just thought it would be cute to post a couple of snippets on the Instagram. So I posted one of them about a week ago, and there's a comment. Well, it's the only comment that's on there. But there's a comment from someone that had, something is that they observed, I guess. So here we go. I'm going to read the comment. Family dining, realize there are some who do not want to sit with randos, but only with fellow young, hot, bracket, parentheses, mutuals. So they answer, quote, single seating or community table, that question, by saying, we, the 2 or 3 of us, want to start a new table because we have friends coming. Is not really true. No specific friends are coming, but this gets a new table. Now they watch the incomings being led to tables and jump up and grab the chosen, hey, come eat with us. That way they can fill up a table for 10 with mutuals without having to sit with the unchosen. The more you know. Let me paraphrase that a little bit. So basically, some people will start a brand new table, supposedly for family-style dining, and they will only, and then as other people are led to their tables because you have to be shown to your table at the front. It's a big giant restaurant. They will flag down people that they supposedly that they think are hot to sit with them. This is the gist I'm getting. I'm getting from this comment. You know what my first thought is when I read this comment? if these types of people exist and this is what they're actually doing. I've not observed this because every time that I'm at the main dining hall, I'm either volunteering, and the Atlantis volunteers that work that dining shift, they stay at the front they pretty much stay at the front. I do once in a while though during that shift, if it's at a part of the shift where it's not too busy, because there are lulls. If the show at the main theater had just started, we know that there's going to be a rush of people that try to fit dinner in before the show starts. But then once the show starts, especially if it's like a really popular show, then we know that it's going to be a little bit quieter because people tend to be watching the show and not be eating dinner. They'll eat before or afterwards. But it'll be quieter when the show is going on. So at times like that, I will sometimes just take like a quick stroll around just to see how things are going generally. Usually there's really nothing to, there's nothing out of the ordinary, but sometimes it's just nice to just double check that everyone's happy and like things are going well very generally, right? The other times I'm at the main dining is when I'm not working, and I'll go in with friends. But again, if you've heard me talk about eating on a cruise, a lot of times I tend to favor like the buffet. I just like a really casual dining experience, and I'm not that patient. I don't like sitting there for like 60 or 90 minutes to have my meal. I just want to like chow chow chow. And I like the buffet concept where I can just pick exactly what I want to eat whenever I want to eat it. And I want 6 slices of cheesecake, I can get 6 slices of cheesecake. Anyways, so I've not personally observed this, but my first thought when I read this comment, if there were people that were like this, I'm like, why don't these people just go hit on, like, the main dining is like not a great place to like just randomly pull other people onto your table. It's like, if you want to spend time with certain people you find attractive, like go hit on them on the dance floor or something. I don't know. It just doesn't strike me as the easiest or the best time and place to quote unquote meet other hot guys that are like them. Like I don't super believe this like hot guy, not hot guy, whatever, like cool kids type of a thing. But I don't know. It just seems like that's so much work to get a table for you and your supposedly hot friends. This is like Mean Girls. It's like, you can't sit with us type of a thing. I don't know. Maybe this does happen. So I think, maybe this person has observed it. I don't have any firsthand experience with this, is what I'm trying to say. I guess it's plausible that, I can see it's plausible that some people might do this. But if you're going to lean into the stereotype and these are like, quote unquote hot people that are trying to do this so that they can meet other like plastics, that clones of themselves that are also supposedly hot like them, I don't know. It sounds kind of sad. It's like the parties are kind of sort of where you can like go hit on people and be like, I've done it where like I've met people on the dance floor, and if I wanted to have dinner with them and their friends, I'd be like, hey, do you guys want to go to dinner tomorrow? I feel like a party is a much more natural, easy way to just talk to whoever you will want to talk to. Like this setup of basically sitting at a giant table that's mostly empty and then just watching whoever gets led to the table past yours and just randomly grabbing them when they probably have like their own plans, which is to not sit with you. I don't know. It sounds sad and desperate. Right? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, but it was a very interesting comment. Any of you, the 3 of you that listen to this, I know you're not doing it, but I hope that people are not doing that. It's like, I don't know. I feel like on a gay cruise, there's so many better ways to meet people. Not everyone's gonna be friends with everyone else. Not everyone's gonna be into everyone else. That's fine. I don't know. That's just like the most clumsy, weird way to find guys to sit with. and to be so like discriminatory, I guess. If the three of you wanted to just sit with hot people, just get a table for three and just sit. You can sit with each other, since you all think you're so hot, right? I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. That's why I have this podcast. Yeah, that was just like a really interesting comment on that video that I noticed. So yeah, there you go. Okay. Switching topics completely again. I have just started to try meditation. Yeah, meditating. So I downloaded a little app, and every morning, I'm still trying to fit it into my schedule. I've heard that it's very popular to meditate kind of sort of first thing in the morning or as part of your getting ready routine in the morning, wherever you want to fit it into. With the dog here, it's a little bit, sometimes the morning's a little bit crazy because the dog has so much energy in the morning after, I keep him with me in my bedroom at night. So like, he's not free to just like, roam the entire house. So I close the bedroom door so he can roam around the bedroom, but like not outside. When I wake up, he is a bundle of energy, and I'm like, okay, I have a limited amount of time to take you out because you've had, I don't know, 9 hours of pee in you by now, and you need to eat your breakfast, and you're like just so hyper in the mornings. I didn't get myself ready and do all that. So yeah, trying to fit that in. But what led me to it? I don't know. Lately, well, maybe not lately, but maybe it's just I've had the realization more recently that I need a little bit more focus in my life. And especially with having two self-employed businesses, where when you run your own business and you're a team of one, you need to do everything, and you need to have the most initiative in the world. When you just go to an office and you are an employee of a company, it's kind of, in a way, for someone like me anyways, that's easier to like autopilot because you have a list of things that you have to do every single day, and there's like never a shortage of work. So in that way, you just do the work that comes to you. You might need to prioritize them, but it's like what you need to do, you never need to think about what you need to do next. It's like stuff just comes at you for the most part. Even when I was like a senior manager or like a director, it was never ever a problem to be like, okay, what should be done next? Or like, what has to happen in like the next day or week or whatever. It just came very naturally. But now that I'm a company of one for these two companies in a way, it's a completely open and empty. It's not even a road. It's just like an open field. And it's like, you need to set the direction where you need to go in. There's not even like a road. It's like, imagine you were like dropped into the middle of the desert and you need to find your way to civilization and you have no idea which way you're supposed to go. You just kind of have to like use your best judgment and use your intuition to be like, what needs to be done next? So for me, it's like a little bit like that. And I am not used to that. So I have a lot of ideas, but the follow through sometimes is a little bit lacking to see something through right to the end. Yeah, so I just thought something that would possibly give me just a little bit more focus in my day-to-day life might be helpful for that. And yeah, and I've heard about meditation before, but I've never tried it. And it was like an easy thing to try. And as far as I can tell, it's something that you need to stick with for maybe a few weeks or like a month or two to finally, before you might start to see some, benefits from it. It's not like a light switch. So it is at least calming in that moment. So, and I find it very doable. So I've only done a few days of it, but I've set aside time on my calendar to at least do it once every morning. It only takes like 8 or 10 minutes, and like you just put the app on, and then you just kind of follow the prompts. So it's relatively easy. It'll be a little bit easier when the dog is gone this weekend. But yeah, I thought I would try to, try it out, keep an open mind, because I do need a little bit more focus. And I do have, that anxiety about like, okay, I'm not making enough money to pay my bills every month. That is this like simmering but very real level of anxiety that's in the background for me at all times. Like this is probably taking years off my life, in some way, shape, or form. So they say more money, more problems. Yes, that's true, but it's not like they're insurmountable problem. It's like you have to pay more taxes. Your tax returns become more complicated. You have to pay more fees and that kind of stuff. Those are the kind of money problems you have when you make like a good amount of money, like a really good amount of money, right? When you don't have enough money coming in to even pay your bills every month, that's anxiety. That's more than just like a problem. That's like it never goes away from the back of your head. But I want to reiterate, I'm not broke. I have money in savings and investments and things like that. So I can still pay my bills, So like I'm not trying to play the victim here, because I'm not. I have savings, all that kind of stuff, and that's still doing pretty decent. But it's still not it still gives me anxiety when I know that I have to dig into my savings, or I have to like have some way every month to make up the difference. Because, strictly speaking, the income that I have every month from employment from the businesses do not yet pay for all my bills. I'm working hard in the businesses. Sometimes it's just hard to like sit in the computer and write stuff. I'm at the part of the business, so I talked about a little bit before, going through all the Amazon selling stuff. So the next thing I need to do, and I've been working for a long time, and it's not even supposed to be that hard. There's AI that does it for you now. It's just to write the product descriptions and the copies. Like when you go to Amazon, for example, you click on a product and you get a product listing, and it's got images of the product, it's got descriptions and write-ups of the product, it's got the specs of the product. I just need to write that stuff up. It doesn't take a genius to do it, but writing stuff like that is really hard for me. It's not impossible. It's not the hardest thing in the world. I'm not trying to send a rocket to the moon, but I'm not used to it. It's not really the type of thing that comes naturally to me. I know there's AI now, and I'm relying on the AI a little bit to give me like inspiration. But when I have the AI just write it, when I just type into the AI, write a product description for blah, 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 blah. It does write out something, but it just doesn't sound like me, and it doesn't fit the voice of their brand. So I take inspiration from the AI, and it's helping. And today I got a pretty good amount of work done. When you go to Amazon on like a laptop computer, not on a phone necessarily, but when you go look at a product listing on Amazon and you scroll down, and then you get all the extra information about the product. And if it's like a nice company that has the page well designed, they've got those really like nice looking graphics that is like the in-depth description of that product. That's what I was working on today, and that I do really, really well at, like the graphic design of that type of stuff, like with the branding and the colors and the graphical layout, like that stuff, that's up my alley. And I know exactly what I want. I have lots of ideas. I can really easily get them and just create it on the computer. I know what looks good and what doesn't look good. And that part is easy. That part's enjoyable and fun for me. But to like write the actual textual descriptions of the stuff, it's like, I don't have that type of a brain for that. But just today I was like, okay, let's get away a little bit from the textual descriptions and just work on the graphics, because I really eventually need to do those graphics to go onto the Amazon page anyways. Like the website, there's gonna be a website just for the brand. And unfortunately the website, unless I switch systems or something, I can't get it to look as nice as what I'm making for Amazon for some weird reason. But that was what I was working on today. Those graphics you see for product descriptions on Amazon listings. And I'm really happy with them. They look really good. They fit in with the branding and the visual identity of the company and of the brand. So that part looks really, really good. And yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm working on that. And the next steps is just to have the manufacturer ship the items to the Amazon warehouse, the fulfillment centers. They're like packaging and preparing the shipments, but it will take them maybe like a few more weeks for them to do that. But then while they're doing that, I have to do these listings, do the write-ups, do the graphics, and then I need to do the website. That's a whole other thing. That's kind of annoying. But once those things are done, then I'm going to run some test purchases just to make sure, like, like the Amazon fulfillment is working as I expect. And then I'm ready to go live. So yeah, that's exciting. I think once we get to the point where the website is actually up, the Amazon listings for the products are up and available too, and I'll do like a test order just to buy and ship to myself just to make sure it's actually working. And then once that shipment comes and I open and it's like, I just actually bought stuff from my own company. Like this is an order from the company I created from the ground up, and like it's working. Like I placed this order and it's now in my hands. So I think once I do that, I will feel so much better about the company. But right now, it's just like taking a day at a time, writing these stupid copies that I don't really want to write because they just don't come naturally to me. And then all the roadblocks of Amazon that I've had to like knock down and jump through. So hopefully soon. It's taken over a year, but that's actually not too long to get like a company up and running of this kind. So yeah, I will give you all an update when that happens. Until next time, bye y'all.